Welcome back to this week's edition of Sun News Blazer Beat. I'm Zoe Hansen.
And I'm Troy Grimmin. Thanks for tuning in. After a rough skid, Blazer football chalked up their first win of the 2023 season against the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks. It was a big day for Kobe Tracy as he got his first start of the season, passing for 318 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the receiving end of the game, Bo Sparks saw a heavy workload with 7 receptions for 87 yards. Ricky Johnson also had a breakout performance with a 70-yard reception, 90 yards total in the game. The Blazers defense came to play for the first 3 quarters, allowing just 15 points. They also forced the Lumberjacks to turn the ball over 5 times. However, the Lumberjacks mounted a fourth quarter offensive, putting up 21 points and cutting the Blazers' lead to 2 touchdowns. Even so, those 5 turnovers hurt the Lumberjacks way more than they helped, and the Blazers racked up their first win of the season. They've hit the road once more to face off against the Missouri State Bears this Saturday.
While our Blazers got their first win, individual players found success through their performance. Kicker Connor Brooksby and Bo Sparks both received accolades for their performances against the Northern Arizona University Lumberjacks. Sparks racked up 7 receptions for 87 yards, and Brooksby's leg saw a hefty bit of action with 5 field goals, the longest being 48 yards. Sparks is in his rookie season with the Trailblazers, and he's making an impact early. Sparks has racked up 189 yards in only 3 games, along with a touchdown. Brooksby is also getting the recognition he deserves after bursting out the gate. Brooksby has also shown signs of greatness his sophomore year, when he set Utah Tech's single-season record for field goals made going 14 for 17.
I just got to say, I called it last week. Kobe Tracy came in as the starter and delivered. Okay, he absolutely delivered. Our defense stepped up and forced 5 turnovers on the Lumberjacks, and I'm pretty sure that's what got us the game. I mean, you're not going to win a game with more than 2 turnovers. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I think they're doing so good. We already talked about how turnovers are huge in the game, and we didn't give up any. We didn't have any turnovers, but we forced them to have 5. And obviously, it worked in our direction, honestly.
And we also got really good looks on offense. I mean, 5 field goals from Connor Brooksby is absolutely huge. You can't overlook that as well.
It was score after score after score, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
I met with head coach cross country Justin Decker to see how he keeps his runners motivated for the upcoming Invitational. Here's what he had to say. Cross country is a very physical and mental sport because it's kind of like the runner's high. I understand that is. Like, how do you preach the mentality of cross country to your players?
It just takes a different mindset to do it. You know, most sports look at running, and that's kind of like the punishment. You know, you do something wrong in practice, you got to go run a lap. Where cross country, that's our.
Cross country is a very physical and mental sport because it's kind of like the runner's high. I understand that is. Like, how do you preach the mentality of cross country to your players?
It just takes a different mindset to do it. You know, most sports look at running, and that's kind of like the punishment. You know, you do something wrong in practice, you got to go run a lap. Where cross country, that's our sport. It's just going and running the laps or running the miles. So, you know, it is a whole different mindset. You know. Enjoying it. You know, most of us know running can be not that enjoyable. Most of us don't want to go do that, but you know, it's kind of embracing the pain, and then once you get through and actually get in good shape, you know, that's when it's enjoyable. When you're actually in good shape and can go run a lot of miles at a pretty fast pace and compete at a high level. You know, that's when running really is enjoyable.
Right on. So, and then my last question for you here is, how would you prepare for a meet or an event that's coming up? Would you step on the gas, maybe easing up, maybe give them some rest, or?
That's another unique thing about our sport is, you know, our regular season, it's not like we have a win-loss record compared to a lot of sports. For us, it's all about being in peak shape and performing our best at the championship meet at the end of the season. So for most schools, that could be, you know, include conference championship, regional championship, national championship as the championship meets at the end of the season. Right now for us, being in the last year of our Division I transition, it's only the conference championship we're eligible for. So it's all about being in tip-top shape for that conference championship. So we are running races right now, preparing, but you know, we're kind of training through, and just doing all we can, prepare. So training plans built around being in our peak shape for end of October for that conference championship.
Gotcha. Good luck this season, Coach Decker, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Breaking even, the Idaho Vandals traveled to the Burns to face off against the Blazers in a 1-3 match of volleyball. The Blazers dominated sets 1, 2, and 4 to secure the first game of the Utah Tech Invitational. A notable takeaway of this matchup is that the Blazers gave up no more than 15 points in the sets they won. They also racked up 65 blocks. Taylor Snow and Kate Hardy took up all the attention, Snow with 13 kills and Hardy with 9. Snow also finished the match with a .667 hitting percentage. Even with the hot start following this invitational, Sydney Reese and Taylor Laufiso were named to the all-tournament team. Reese racking up 28 kills and 3 aces, and Laufiso with an impressive 80 assists, 22 digs, and 11 kills. The Blazers welcomed the California Baptist Lancers to the Burns to open up WAC play today at 6 p.m.
Okay, so another really cool thing about Taylor Laufiso is she's in her 5th year. She's a 5th-year senior because of COVID. And now she gets to play with her sister, Maya Laufiso. And at the same time, Maya Laufiso and Kyler Laufiso, he's playing on the football team. It doesn't happen very often that we have 3 Trailblazers competing at the Division I level at the same school. What do you think about that?
I mean, the more I think about it, it's like, what are they gonna do after? They're gonna go off, they're gonna raise families, and they're all gonna be tight still. And just imagine the stories they're gonna tell their kids. Like, hey, your sister, I play with your sister, all the kids are just gonna be running around thinking they're like some sort of superhuman athlete. I mean, that's what I would be doing.
And it started off, their parents both played at Ricks College, which is now BYU Idaho, but they also played in sports, and so they just dropped that to their kids, and that's just gonna be a long trail down to their kids and their kids on and their kids on. I think it's such a cool thing.
Truly is a powerhouse family. After the break, we will be talking about men's and women's soccer.
Dixie State University is now Utah Tech University. Our Polytechnic focus combines active learning with career readiness in all of our 250 programs. As one of the fastest growing, most affordable, and safest universities in the country, Utah Tech was recently ranked as a top 10 arts and science college. So, join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
Seniors take the win and flowers on Senior Day. McKinley Barney, Amy Tipper, Madison Monson, Carly Heaton, Gracie Knutson, Brynlee Ryder, and Hannah Carley were all joined with loved ones before the game to be recognized as this year's seniors. As all 7 started in this game, 2 of them took the ball to the back of the net. Brynlee Ryder brought the energy and scored the first goal in the first 15 minutes of the game and secured the only goal from the Trailblazers in the first half. Although 6 minutes after Ryder's goal, the Bengals tied it up to end the half. After going back and forth in the second half, the Blazers took the lead with an assist from Carly Heaton to Tessa Thornton for the goal. The Bengals responded quickly and tied the game score yet again. But that's not the last we'll hear from Heaton, as she scored a goal exactly 90 seconds after the Bengals. Then the Bengals scored their final goal of the game, and with only 5 minutes left, Lacey Fox scored the winning goal yet again. The Blazers came out on top with the final score of 4-3. The team secured a 3-game win streak and will face Southern Utah University tomorrow at 5 p.m.
A red card on the field causes an uproar in the stands. In the game against CSU Bakersfield, number 25, Angel Saldana, dropped to the ground, and when it looked like the number 4 on Bakersfield was going to help him up, he dropped him instead and followed it up with a kick to the back, close to his head. Number 4 received a red card, but this wasn't good enough for the Trailblazer fans. The fans were furious and wanted him ejected from the game. And they didn't go quiet until the ejection.
This freshman is making his name known, and that name is Austin Wallace. The men's soccer team benefited after Wallace scored his first 2 goals ever in his collegiate soccer career against Lindenwood University. Wallace has made a significant presence on the field in every game following. Although the team fell short against CSU Bakersfield by 1 goal, Wallace managed to have 2 shots on goal, which is the second highest shot statistic of the game for the Trailblazers. Now in the team's last home game before a 3-game stretch on the road, Wallace scored another goal against Gonzaga University. After 2 shots on goal, one of them hit the net and he recorded his 3rd career goal. The team took the win 2-1 and and will challenge San Diego State tonight at the Snapdragon Stadium. Both women's and men's soccer teams celebrate newly named WAC Players of the Week. The women's team recognizes Lacey Fox as the WAC Offensive Player of the Week. In the last 3 games, Fox put at least 1 goal in the back of the net. The men's team recognizes Julian Herrera, the senior and captain. Herrera was named WAC Defensive Player of the Week. As a defender, Herrera still recorded a goal and 167 minutes of playing time. Both teams will compete this week for a chance to keep their winning streaks.
New women's head soccer coach. I interviewed head women's soccer coach Lexi Brown to see how their season is going so far. Here's what she had to say.
So how was that transition coming into a team that's already a well-established team? They had a great season last year, and you're already starting them at a good season this year.
Yeah, I think there has been ups and downs and a lot of learning moments for me and for the team as well. They had a great season last year. I coach and have a different style than what they had in the past. Molly was great. The way that we play is very different than the way that they played in the past, and so there was definitely a learning curve, and you saw that in some of the results earlier on in the season. And I really think it was a lot about the players understanding both the system, but also understanding me and our coaching staff and what we're asking of them. There was some learning that went on early in the season, but I feel like we're at a really great spot right now where they're comfortable with me as a coach and comfortable with the system.
I kind of want to go back to your first game. You won. You made your first career win at Utah Tech, and you got a bunch of water dumped on you. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so obviously it was a great win. It's always tough to start on the road, and we were at University of South Dakota, and it was a great win in a lot of ways. And so it was so fun and super cool for me to get that first win. But truly, I wasn't expecting that at all. Gracie and Ella, who are 2 of our captains, had come over to me after the game, and they were acting like they were asking me a question about one of our defensive principles, and I start answering the question, and Tyler, our assistant, had kind of like coordinated the whole thing with the rest of the team, came up behind me. It was a cool moment. I'm glad they got it on video. It's something that I'll always remember, and that first win for the players, I think, was a really good thing, what we needed to start out on the right foot for the season.
Soccer really seems to be ramping up this year. I mean, women's soccer is absolutely hot right now. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, Zoe?
It's so fun. You know, it's hard coming in as a new head soccer coach, coming into a well-established team. That's already hard. But as she talked about, they really warmed up to her. And after that first win, they really needed that first win. And especially for her, you can see how comfortable they were dumping that bucket of water on her head. It's been fun watching them, and they've already started a really strong season. Yeah, they've had their ups and downs, but that's just adjusting to the new coaching, because they're doing something completely different than what Molly Rouse had last season.
Well, even so, I mean, you got to look at the team chemistry. I mean, you're dumping water on the first win of the season. I love that. I love that, because it shows that, like, you have this bond with your coach, she's got your back, and you've got her back. And I love that for the team.
I'm sure we're going to see it again. And I don't know if she's going to be ready for it again, but I guess we'll see when it happens.
And that's it for this week's edition of Sun News Blazer Beat. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you here next week, same time, same place. Have a great week, Trailblazers.